Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Batman Arkham Asylum. So I've kind of slept since the last recording, so I'm not really sure where we are. We're in the Botanical Gardens, I guess, and we're moving forward to a point where I think we're going to get a super grapple hook, which might be the last Metroidvania upgrade item. Interesting that we're in this very green thing. See, like they didn't even bother at this point in some of these points to make the image look particularly well, because I bet half of the QA testers were playing the whole game in detective mode the whole time, and the green detective mode barely even changes it. It's just the lightest tint of green. Also, you're having to hit A to climb here instead of the right bump, which it kind of feels like.
Please, stop. I told you what you wanted to know. You got everyone. Please, you can let me go.
And you promise you won't tell anyone about Joker's plan? Well, okay then. Help this guy to his feet. Then shoot him in the face.
My pleasure. Wait, but you said...
So,
What?
we've got a couple people that, like, honestly, taking out two guys, though, is going to be ridiculously easy on easy mode. And if it is actually difficult on the harder difficulty modes this late into the game, that's pretty ridiculous, too. So, I guess, like, where did we even come from? Like, this Joker painted vent. And we're going to talk to Jordan Fraser, who I guess might be a new character,
okay?
or maybe he's a reference to a comic book character.
They were gonna kill me. We were in the aviary hiding out, and they came in with Joker shooting up the place and loaded us into cages.
Are they still in there?
No, man. No one's come out since. You got to help them.
Stay here.
Now, there is something I think we ought to mention here. Sure, Batman's been in comics since the 40s. In the 40s, institutionalized, like, just blatant racism existed, and black people would have just not been depicted at all, just complete exclusion. But in 2009, as they're making these characters, as they're picking what characters to have, why is the number of black people kind of boiled down to a security guard with a hook hand who, let's see if he's even mentioned here in the bios. Frank Boyle's, here we go. You have Aaron Cash as a character, a security guard with a hook hand. He's one of the most senior and respected guards, but he's not in charge of the security. He appeared in 2003. And then you have Jordan Fraser, who's a janitor. Whereas almost all of the doctors have been heavily female, when you could have easily, well, you could have had a female that was black easily. You could have had a male doctor that was black. There's one Chinese guy that there was a doctor that we saw for a second, or Asian guy at least. As far as the enemies, since they are almost completely established from old times ago, almost every single bad guy is a white guy. And so there's a lack of diversity in the Rogues Gallery, and honestly, more diversity in the Rogues Gallery is way more interesting than diversity in the support characters, because the support characters really don't matter. When you look at the Bat family, I don't believe there's ever been a Batgirl or a Batwoman or a Robin that wasn't just a standard old white person. None of the real support characters play that role either. So yeah, if they are going to bother to introduce new characters, which they should, they need to really diversify it. But then you run into the problem with DC and Marvel. I think Marvel has probably been a little bit more guilty of this than DC. Marvel has specifically tried to take existing characters and just replace their titles with new characters. So you have a younger Black Spider-Man who, like, it's not a terrible idea, but in the end, you know, Peter Parker is going to go back to being Spider-Man, and they're going to rewrite the new character under some other name, and it's not just going to stay under that title. Come out of scan mode. Yeah, there must be some kind of super long ability with the super grapple too, because there's no way I could reach up there, and it would be pretty ridiculous for Batman to have like a bat jet and fly. There's not enough programming and budget behind this game for that to make sense. Let's make sure there's no riddle in here. You do have all the king's horses and all the king's men trampled by the king's men. See, the timing in which he starts to read is too early, because I'm halfway reading it out loud myself.
Is this a tribute to what a mad dog left behind?
So we've got two things that we can see if we can scan, but I think Mad Dog is just another character. Or Mad Dog is Zaz cutting the heads off of people. And so this is a headless statue, which seems to not have Mad Dog, and the head's cut off there. The First Lady of Arkham. So Mad Dog may have been one of the first villains against the spirit of Arkham. Like, he may have been just a old character.
Where is Dr. Kellerman?
How should I know, Warden? It does seem careless of you to have lost him.
I have no time for your games, Miss Isley. Tell me where you have him. We have security footage of you and him leaving your cell last night.
So,
Do I need to spell it out? We know you hypnotized him, or whatever it is you do. We know he took you somewhere, but conveniently, security cameras across the island were mysteriously covered by leaves and flowers at 3 a.m. Now tell me what it is.
I'm not saying a word unless you do exactly what I tell you to do.
So we're getting more Poison Ivy backstory. I don't know if any of that matters, per se. There's some nice flowers here. Maybe not a variety of flowers, though. See, all the king's horses were trampled by all the king's men. What would stick out and feel like there might be an answer to that? Humpty Dumpty. So a bunch of That looks like Asian Korean writing. What is that supposed to be? Some just random scribblings? Or did they reuse a bench from some other game? So, yet another character I don't recognize. Let's see. Arkham Asylum 2003. Yeah, you kind of figure out that the Arkham Asylum comic book series, which is not a relevant series by any mean, was the main source of a lot of these characters. And I guess that comic book series was around the idea of reintroducing a lot of the older bad guys without really having to do entire runs, because it would kind of be stupid to have Humpty Dumpty be the main foil to Batman for even one issue, let alone 3 or 4 issues or an entire year. But yeah, even a spin-off, it would be hard to give one full issue to a character. We have 4, it looks like, if I can scroll correctly. So many different buttons do so many different things. Yeah, we have like 4 more characters to unlock. Yeah. Yeah, I guess what the best way to fix this, the diversity issue, both for Marvel and DC, would be to simply have Batman, have the Bat family, have all of their characters just introduce themselves to new people, introduce new characters, meet new people. Then you don't run into the comic book nerd complaint of, well, I know that Batgirl has always been Barbara Gordon, and Barbara Gordon's always been the daughter of Commissioner Gordon, a white redheaded girl. Like, changing that, it would be ridiculous. Changing the moniker of Batgirl to someone else would be ridiculous. But if Batgirl had a best friend, made a new best friend, if Batman made a new best friend, heck, if Alfred got a intern to help him out as he's getting older. There's no closet in the garden, so someone used the roof instead. Seems like we've got another one of these challenges where we're gonna have to sneak around.
Someone, get me out of this thing!
Listen, the bat is on the way. You see him?
I can barely see the characters in the cages.
That's the down one, right?
Yeah, they're going down.
Good. And remember,
So the camera had to zoom in just to be able to see it. Like, this
Joker's
is
men are
a
all wearing the
great...
security colors. I'll need to take out the operator first.
This is like a great example of a lack of good art direction and color palette. Like, the fact that you really can't even play the game seriously unless you're in detective mode is just really, really dumb. So
Batman better not try and mess with us.
I need to get way up here. And instead I'm walking to an Arkham interview tape, which these clearly don't play in reality.
No thanks to you. The poor man could have died.
So,
He has a wife, a child.
as do the plants he trambles underfoot. The spores he breathes in and destroys have children. Why does he deserve anything more than them? You people ignore what is happening in front of your eyes.
I refuse to put the welfare of plants before the welfare of people.
And that is why you will lose. There's more happening than you know, Warden. It's all connected.
Yeah. I could almost see the logic behind Poison Ivy's perspective but there's some flaws in it, certainly. Like the individual life potentially of a single plant versus the relatively limited number of climb down. Sure,
He doesn't stand a chance. Not a chance.
Alright, so what I'm gonna try and do is hit this and see if I can just hold on the edge. And I kind of assume the trick here is to climb up here and take this guy out, and let's get out of detective mode.
I've incapacitated the main threat, but the hostages are still in danger.
So you figured out my puzzle, eh? That? Well, good for you. Do you remember about my alarms? How you guys couldn't stop a taxi? He's here. Don't let him find me.
It's always extremely questionable why henchmen would work for the Joker. Like, it would make a lot more sense to work for any other villain first. Alright. So this guy, I think, probably wouldn't see me if I took this guy out.
Fails to stop that man will automatically be entered into the Titan Henchman program.
What?
Let's just take these guys out now. Like, we boned it up and it doesn't matter. Like, just double jump towards these guys and then smack them in the head. And that's why I wanted to play this on easy, is because even on easy, trying to do it the way they want to, trying to play it like it is this stealth, this weird stealth Metal Gear type game, they
Joker wanted the entrance to the Titan production plant guarded. I should pick up Harley's trail again so I can find it.
they totally don't like know how to make a game that works that way. Alright, so we, I guess, need to bother to get to the right places and look around before we talk to people. We do know that there's probably a decent number of collectibles and things. I guess the general idea is that there was a switch here he would have pulled that would have dropped a chain, but I'm not sure that they even had an animation sequence where that would have happened. I wouldn't be surprised if this just somehow curves around into a different area. Yeah. Having to grapple more than I would have liked. Okay. So there was a second entrance into that area that really didn't matter. Is there any riddles in this room? There's no closet. So they used the roof instead. So yeah, there's not a lot here that strikes me as something of importance. See if we... You can't even jump from here. They've put... Well, I guess you can. So who do we have here? We have Robert Sterling and Luke Curtis, which I guess we could talk to each one of these since they're named.
I just work here. What good is killing me?
I'm sorry. I thought I was working for Dr. Young. I had no idea Joker was involved until he burst in the lab.
Where is the lab?
Back over there. I always get buzzed through. There's a hidden door, but, well, you know, it's hidden.
I'll find it. Stay here.
So yeah, just named characters, seemingly for no reason. References to that one series. I guess that is a problem with comics, or at least it was in the 90s. Maybe they've completely given up on this now at this point, but there was always an incredible attempt to hype up the next big series in comics, and that was immediately replaced with just utter disappointment in almost every scenario because it just never works. The writing's not that good. The expense to purchase and read the comics is too high. The animation is often not that great, or it's just extremely limited, even if it is really, really good. It's a hard selling point to try to convince people that they... guess I'm supposed to probably go way up there. That they should buy something that has like 20 images. That really does approach the level of a, like, buying commissioned art or uncommissioned art. It's a high level of... alright.
I don't believe it. How did you work that one out?
So Killer Moth apparently killed somebody and then put him on the wall. And I guess that was the idea, that the moth hides in closets often, or moths hide in closets often. Alright. Which, yeah, we are really getting down to the last 3 characters, which makes it feel like we're at the end of the game. I don't know how you do that. Here's a 1951 character from Batman issue 63, which Batman issue 63 probably wasn't Detective Comics issue 63, but maybe it was, because at some point, if I recall correctly, that's good news that I found that riddle though, because that means I don't need to run around trying to figure out how to get to the top of this room, because I doubt you can. Geez, a secret door, you say? I wouldn't really even need too much special abilities to see that this is kind of unique. Well, that wasn't expected. I was expecting a secret door. So we're right next to this, so one would kind of assume that that this would be easier, but it really isn't. But I don't see any. Well, I'm starting to run out of time. Interesting. I'm kind of going in the opposite directions. A secret panel that opens a secret door that was somewhere different. Interesting. Kind of annoying that the detective mode can't see through certain secret doors for not really a well explained reason. We were already up here. Yeah, I don't think that. Well, by the looks of it, it does kind of indicate that there might be a collectible right in this room, but maybe on the other side of the wall.
Well, look who's discovered our secret
So this
lab.
is like the second cutscene in the game.
Let me show you what I cooked up.
This is the second cutscene where you have the Joker actually standing up and doing something. And so the two skin models, the minimum, are now getting turned into Titan monsters, which, okay. So the trick there was to dodge and somehow I'm on his back, and now I'm using the other one to strike the other one. And here we've got one that I can apparently smack or get on the back of. Like, I don't know how this happened. I was just mashing the X button, and my dodge did not really work. And you get that symbol of taking the guy down, but it doesn't really take the guy down. Instead, it just puts them in a low enough situation where you can grab them. And it wouldn't let me hit the Y button and hit that guy that time. So now this guy's changed his pattern. So they want you to do that. That doesn't really work. So I got a 6-hit combo maximum out of that. Very low combo, but it gave me a lot of experience anyways. And fairly easy because I upgraded all my armor. It probably wouldn't be that easy if I hadn't upgraded my armor. But in all fairness, there is also something to be said about I wouldn't be surprised if these boss battles are nowhere as difficult as the final boss battle. So we'll have to wait until we get to that point. This would combo your batarang. I don't think there's a great reason I want to do that. This would increase the batarang, which we're not going to use very often. This gives you triple batarang and upgrades your combo batarang. Sonic batarang, multiple frequency detonator, or speed up the hacking to make it easier. Speeding up the hacking would be nice, but it's not needed. Multiple frequency detonator, not needed. I'm going with triple batarang just to see if maybe that would unlock something new, but almost certainly it doesn't. So the next ones we'd want is increasing batarang power and then combo batarang. But it really is opening up a door to doing a lot of things that you're just not going to actually do. We are supposed to be destroying these Titan vaults, and here we have a security gate that if I hack properly, should open that. And over here, a wall that's collapsible with controlled explosion, and over here a wall I can't reach. A token. You can see that it seems like maybe some plants are being used to make these Titan gases. There is also a point to be made here that you've really got some bad storytelling going on here, and you just can't walk through this door? Nope, you just can't walk through the door. That's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous that let's see how this works. That the Titan gas is not the same as the Scarecrow gas is not the same as Joker's regular laughing gas. Like, so not really a reason
I've destroyed the Titan production facility
to not have a Scarecrow
escaped with
section
enough to
right
cause us
now.
real problems.
Just when you think it can't get any worse.
They've been using a venom plant hybrid to create the Titan strain. The plant's the key. And there's only one person on Arkham Island who can help us.
And what makes you think Poison Ivy will help you?
If her plants are at risk, she'll listen. I have a sample of her pheromone signature on record. She'll be somewhere in the gardens. I'll track her down.
So, kind of a shoehorned...
I'm going to need something to get over this ravine.
A shoehorned reason to deal with her. So they had no budget, clearly, at all for the Batcopter. So, at any point he could have called in this guy and gotten more abilities and just chose not to? That's ridiculous. This is so unlike Batman to just say, I'm not carrying the equipment I need to be carrying by default, or at least something close to that. A line launcher. Interesting. This feels a lot like an ability Batman really wouldn't need or have. Alright. Use the line launcher to target a wall ahead of Batman. Well, how about that wall? Fire the line launcher and then glide.
Oh, you are definitely cheating.
So, yeah. Why would Batman have this ability when... There you go, hit the moon. Nope, it puts your cursor downward. You cannot... Like, unless I could do something like that.
There's no way out through this elevator shaft. I'll need to go back the way I came.
Yeah. So, you do something like this. And you fall to your death. So, Yeah. Still doesn't really make sense. You're not going to use the line launcher and then have an upgrade where it explodes things, or be able to switch very quickly to the explosive element. So there's some other Metroidvania ability.
Now I can go find Ivy.
And apparently we're just getting a percentage this time. They decided to make it fairly easy on us. Wait a minute, why are those guys dead? These guys were alive last time we saw them.
They're all dead. Joker was busy while I fought his monsters. He'll pay for this.
Did he kill his own guys too? Because those are supposed to be unconscious. No, he left his own guys unconscious and murdered the other people. Interesting. And this percentage, I guess, does not matter one bit because, well, you're just not going to... You're just not going to go in any other different direction. You have to walk this way. There's only one path until we get later to this point. It's just terrible writing. It really is. Is the other guy dead too? Somewhere around here? Notice it's blinking because the number's going down lower. Did the other guy actually escape? I mean, I don't know how. He must either got killed or got dragged off or got pushed off the cliff. Yeah, but ultimate terrible writing. Maybe he crawled through the vent. To have characters introduced and just referenced because of a unaffiliated comic book, and that's that. I suppose there's a symbol here to indicate that you could shoot backwards, but you can't shoot forwards. And so you need to line up 2 points for this to work. And then you freak out every time. It's so ridiculous. It's just Batman spazzing out to throw batarangs. And I totally get where the feedback would have come from that, where they would have said, we want to encourage people to throw batarangs, but we kind of can't have the enemies taken out with batarangs. They could have been, certainly, if you just introduced a pretty weak enemy that was very common. If you went back to the idea of that I proposed, where if he was hit with the Scarecrow smoke at the beginning of the game, and he would see rats and bugs and things like that, and that would give him a reason to kind of crazily throw batarangs at rats, that would be fine. Yeah, I honestly think there's a decent chance we go through here, we see a pre-rendered cutscene with Poison Ivy, and that's it. And she may actually give us just a new ability.
It's all right, my darlings. I'm here now, my poor darlings. Yes, I know he's found us, but I won't let him hurt you. I'll kill him first.
It doesn't seem like she shed her human clothing.
Yes,
for
and I
the
heard it
leaf
through the grapevine
outfit.
an evil woman paid the price.
I need you to help me create an antidote.
Why should I? Let Joker have his fun. I'll enjoy watching you squirm.
Like, she shouldn't be able to be hurt that easily.
Every plant on this island will get the same unless you cooperate.
There's a plant growing deep in Arkham Island. Only it can counter the effects of this Titan strain.
Where do I find it?
Oh, in Killer Croc's lair. You didn't think it would be easy, did you?
So, effectively,
Go
what
back
he
to your
just
cell,
did.
or I'll be after you next.
And I'll be waiting.
Like, he effectively just slapped her and threatened her, which it's a little aggressive for Batman.
Oracle,
Like,
I need to find a way into Killer Croc's lair.
he could have
It's
just
somewhere below Arkham Island.
sweet talked
There's
her,
nothing on the system about
I
where he's
think,
kept.
or that should
Found
have
a
been
door
how
near
it
the
was.
Batcave, but it's shut tight. There's got to be another way in. I left guard Cash in the mansion. I'll see if he can shed some light on where Croc's kept.
So yeah, full cutscene, no boss fight there. They didn't want you fighting women. A little violent, smashing the plants that shouldn't have hurt her that much. Yeah, you're never gonna go back in there. That they ran out of budget. It really would have been a.
We're here to make sure you stay where you are. Yeah, go back and play with that bitch for a few more hours. The boss isn't ready for you yet.
So I think if I just do this,
What the hell is that thing? He's here!
I knock out so many of these guys that it starts the combo. We have a BY takedown, which is like a leg breaker attack. But when you do these combos, they actually break your combo. So if you were going to run into a lot of these characters, it would be hard. That was an 11-hit combo, and I'm actually shocked I was able to get that high. Okay, so meanwhile, there's a collectible that you'd have to come all the way back here and get. We just don't have the ability. Some weird New Game Plus idea, I guess, might open up that concept. And the line launcher always pushes you down, so you can't do something crazy like go out the window and into the open world. So all I can really do is climb back here, and that totally explains why they have it designed in such a way that you're doing this. Right. We still don't have an ability to get up there. So because you can not go up or down, you can only be horizontal. Like something like this.
Do you like riddles, Batman?
I don't know why I was getting a riddle prompt there. So you will just have to come back to this area. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Scarecrow section that we run into also. It's pretty bad because once you leave this area, you're going through 1, 2, 3, 4 areas in total that just kind of don't matter. Where's the door? That's what we're looking for. It's somewhere up there, I guess. And I am assuming that the gas I just walked through there is just a general sewer gas and not some of the Scarecrow gas. It would make sense if this was a Scarecrow sequence. Certainly. Yeah, let's just walk through this door and then we're gonna have to wrap up here. Like, we are in the flooded corridor. Running through here, running through here. What we're gonna do is leave the botanical garden, and then there's really no reason to go back and try and get all of these. I suppose this one is now collectible because of the line launcher, and that may be the only one. I'd have to really think about some of these other things. Like this area here is where the explosion and the gas is filling the room. I would need the remote explosion to break this wall, then use the line launcher. So the line launcher by itself seems fairly useless. I could get over here, which is the electric flooded floor, with the line launcher and then hack that to turn that off. But they're proposing here the idea of going back and playing each level 3 or 4 times, which is kind of insane, and really wouldn't give me much as far as upgrades. I never found a secrets map for this area, so it is possible that there is a decent number of secrets that can be collected in there. I think we could get into this one. I don't think can get into that one. We very possibly can't get into that one. We can't get into that one. So if we are going to have to go into this area and run into these places, we'll get a couple more collectibles, but not a lot. And we looked at every other area, right? Except for the caves, and we don't have a map for the caves either. So where are we on collectibles does seem to be about right. When we have 169 out of 240, that leaves us roughly 71 collectibles to collect, and as it breaks down, it's getting pretty sparse in most areas with intensive treatment, and I imagine the caves being the areas with the least number of collectibles collected. Everywhere else, it's going to be very difficult to justify running throughout the entire game once we have all the abilities, which we still don't have. We still have 3 characters that are going to be revealed as just reference characters, and then upgrade wise, we kind of don't need any of the other upgrades. Like, yeah, I don't think the Sonic Batarang is ever going to be useful, but if it was going to be useful, you should have gotten it very, very early in the game. It would have probably been better if you could have just purchased the main upgrades in very early, but then I imagine a lot of players would never purchase the right upgrades that they need, so that people would get confused. That is a problem of having an RPG element in a Metroidvania game. The two really don't mix too well together. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.